Welcome! Today we're making molten lava cakes, rich chocolate cakes with a gooey center that flows out when you cut into them. They're quick, easy, and perfect for any chocolate lover. Let's get started. Let's get through the ingredients you will need for your molten lava cake. You'll need 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate for a rich and deep flavor. We'll melt this with half a cup of unsalted butter, which gives the cake a smooth texture. For the dry ingredients, use a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour to provide structure and half a cup of powdered sugar for sweetness and a fine texture. We're adding 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks, which will help create that molten center. A half teaspoon of vanilla extract adds a touch of warmth and flavor, and don't forget a pinch of salt to balance the sweetness. Finally, we'll coat the ramekins with a tablespoon of melted butter and dust them with cocoa powder to prevent sticking and add extra chocolate flavor. First, let's get our ramekins ready. Take 1 tablespoon of melted butter and brush the inside of each ramekin. Make sure to coat all the sides well. This will help the cake come out smoothly after baking. Now take a tablespoon of cocoa powder and add a little into each ramekin. Rotate the ramekin to spread the cocoa powder evenly. The cocoa powder not only prevents sticking, but also adds an extra layer of chocolate flavor. Set the ramekins aside on a baking sheet. This will make them easier to move later. Next, we're going to melt 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and half a cup of unsalted butter. If you're using a double boiler, place the chocolate and butter in the top bowl over simmering water. Stir occasionally until smooth and fully melted. Alternatively, you can melt them in the microwave. Just combine the chocolate and butter in a microwave-safe bowl and heat in 20-second intervals, stirring between each until the mixture is smooth. Once melted, let the mixture cool slightly before we move on to the next step. Now we'll mix our dry ingredients. In a medium bowl, whisk together a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of powdered sugar, and a pinch of salt. This step is crucial because it helps break up any lumps and ensures the dry ingredients are evenly combined. The flour will give our cake structure, while the powdered sugar adds sweetness without the grittiness of regular sugar. Moving on to the eggs. In a separate bowl, crack 2 large eggs and add 2 additional egg yolks. The extra yolks are key to creating that gooey molten center. Add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract for a warm, rich flavor. Whisk the eggs and vanilla until they're fully combined and slightly frothy. This step is important for incorporating air into the eggs, which will help the cake rise properly. Now it's time to bring everything together. Slowly pour the melted chocolate and butter mixture into the egg mixture. As you pour, keep whisking constantly. This prevents the eggs from scrambling due to the warm chocolate. Once combined, gradually add the dry ingredients into the wet mixture. Continue whisking until the batter is smooth and fully incorporated. The batter should be thick and glossy. Let's fill the ramekins. Divide the batter evenly among the 4 prepared ramekins. Make sure they're filled to about 3/4 full to leave room for the cakes to rise. Place the ramekins back on the baking sheet. The baking sheet makes it easier to transfer them in and out of the oven without spilling. Now we're ready to bake. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius. Once preheated, place the baking sheet with the ramekins in the oven. Bake the cakes for 12 to 14 minutes. The edges should be set and firm, while the center remains soft and slightly jiggly. It's crucial not to overbake, as that would cook through the center, losing the molten effect. Keep a close eye on the cakes during the last few minutes. Finally, let the cakes cool for about a minute after taking them out of the oven. To serve, run a knife around the edges of each ramekin to loosen the cake. Then carefully invert the ramekin onto a plate and gently lift it off. The cake should slide out easily, revealing a molten center when cut open. Serve immediately while they're still warm, maybe with a dusting of powdered sugar, fresh berries, or a scoop of vanilla ice cream. And lastly, let's talk about some tips to ensure your lava cakes turn out perfect. First, make sure your eggs are at room temperature. Cold eggs can cause the chocolate mixture to seize up and make the batter harder to mix. Next, be careful not to overbake the cakes. The edges should be firm, but the center should still be slightly jiggly when you take them out. This is crucial for achieving that molten gooey center. Keep a close eye on the cakes during the last few minutes of baking to avoid overcooking. When it comes to serving, let the cake sit for about a minute after baking to set slightly. Run a knife around the edges of the ramekins to help release the cakes smoothly. If you're planning to make the batter ahead of time, you can refrigerate it in the ramekins. Just let them come to room temperature before baking. This way you can have fresh lava cakes whenever you want. Finally, serve your lava cakes immediately after baking. The molten center is best enjoyed warm, and you can add a dusting of powdered sugar, fresh berries, or a scoop of vanilla ice cream to complement the rich chocolate flavor. Enjoy your molten lava cake!